There is once again jam-packed with devotion and happiness. And with all of your beautiful faces in attendance here today, Universal Mother is indeed happy. So without any further ado, we go into some prafna, then Nam Sankirtan, then back to the katha from last night. So let's all empty the mind of any other thought and fill our minds of the beautiful form of the goddess Durga. And once we begin to have an inner revelation of that beautiful Lord, what will begin to happen is all the doubts, all the anxiety, all the depression, and everything that bothers us as a human being will evaporate like the sun evaporating the waters of the world. Jayati Jayati Mateshwari,
Jayati Jayati Mateshwari,
Sahasravandanato,
Sahasravandanato,
Sukha Sampati Vardhanato,
Sukha Sampati Vardhanato,
Dasajan Karamo,
Dasajan Karamo.
Jayati Jayati Mateshwari. Victory to you, O Mother. You are the one who brings perennial peace and happiness to my life. You are life itself. You are the sum total aggregate of all the minds in the world. You put us where we need to be for our growth, O Mother. Therefore, we hail your victory. We are taught in the wonderful pages of the scripture that you do not put us where we cannot handle the situation. Whether the situation be bad or good, you are the one who guides us through all of it. We're navigated by that wonderful power called Durga. Janani Ma, Jai Jai Janani Ma,
Janani Ma, Jai Jag Janani Ma, Janani Ma, Jai Jag Janani Ma.
दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी, दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी. Glory to that beautiful Jagadambe Durga. Bless our physical eyes, O Mother, with the ability to see a glimpse of your divine form. For when your form is emblazoned in my heart, when your form is emblazoned in my mind, there are no worries at all. For chanting your name brings about the power that I need to carry forward to you. Jai 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 Durga Maharani, Jai 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 Durga Maharani.
जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी
Jai 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 Durga Maharani, Jai 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 Durga Maharani.
जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी
दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी, दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी.
दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी
जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी, जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी.
जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी
तीनों लोक में रहने वाली, देश को रहने वाली, तीनों लोक में रहने वाली, जगत की जननी वरदानी.
दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी
दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी, दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी. जय जय जय
दुर्गा महारानी जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी दर्शन दो दुर्गा महारानी
जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी, जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी. जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी, जय 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 दुर्गा महारानी. ओ वंदे देने वाली बेतुक सब हर लेने वाली. Your awesome power, O Mother, destroys all the sins of my mind. Your courage and immortality removes the fear of the devotee's thoughts. Your grace and abiding kindness banishes all sorrows. Singhavahini Magalyani. Can you say the word sing, everybody? Sing. Lots of people have the last name Singh. My mother has the last name Singh, and many people do as well. Singh means lion. It means ferocious, roar. But dear brothers and sisters, she has conquered this ability to be too ferocious in this human life. If you look at the beautiful form of the Universal Mother tonight, my dear brothers and sisters, she's suddenly teaching us a lesson. Look at her motif. Do you see her frowning? Anybody see the frown? No, she is smiling. And when you look at the wonderful form and you examine her very carefully, while her acts in the Durga Saptashati may be that of ferocious, removing all of the Nitshumma, Nishumma, all of the Rakta Beej, and all of the wonderful, what we call Daitya, all of the enemies of Jagadambe Durga. What happens is, my dear friends, she does it in compassion for her devotees. Yesterday we saw in a very careful eye that you may be placed in a situation. You may be placed in a situation that is not conducive for happiness, and you ask yourself why. The answer is, my dear brothers and sisters, while we suffer, Jagadambe Durga smiles at even that suffering. Some people say, Acharyaji, school's too hard. I have to study so much. I have to wake up until 4 o'clock in the morning and then wake up at 6 o'clock just to take the final exam. Mother Durga is smiling and all of that, you know why? Because she has given you the strength to do so. Many people wish they had eyesight even to read a book. I was speaking to someone the other day and they said, Acharyaji, I haven't been able to go to school. I said, why? And this was a phone conversation. And the person was only 17 years old, and she said to me, it's because I'm blind. And in the place that I grew up, in the country that I've come from, in West Africa, we are not allowed to go to school if we're blind. We have to work on the fields. We have to toil the soil. We have to do menial tasks. And she said, Acharyaji, blessed is this country, America, where we can come and become whoever we want to become if we work hard. My dear brothers and sisters, Mother Durga teaches us about penance. And last night we saw a beautiful song that I should sing for you again, because it is a beautiful rendition of Mother Durga herself, which allows us to bask in the glories of that wonderful, wonderful idea called penance in our life. And throughout her life, my dear brothers and sisters, though she went through tremendous hardship, going towards Bhagavan Shankara, she would have sang this beautiful song to him. Main janama janama se karu tapasya. Devi is looking at her meditation, though suffering in her life, brothers and sisters. She's saying, I will suffer lifetime after lifetime just to make you mine, O Shiva. While the world will say that I should not be in communion with you, who is the world to tell me who I should be with and where I should be? I am in the company of the Great One, none other than Bhagavan Shankara, my dear friends. So not all tapasya is bad. As a matter of fact, we will see how tapasya would have allowed Parvati Ma to grow and Lord Shiva getting closest to her as we continue the katha. But everything that happens to us, the question is why? Why does it happen? And there's something called the karmic law. Karma means three things. Now, if you're taking notes, please write this down. There are three types of karmas. The first karma is prarabdha karma. Can you all say that? Prarabdha. Very good. Prarabdha means the things that are happening to me now because of a previous life. The other day, someone said to me, Acharyaji, I don't want to come to temple. I don't feel good. The world treats me so bad. Why should I come supplicate myself to Durga Ma? I said, that's the reason you should. When the world doesn't treat you good, Mother will always welcome you. No matter how bad the picnic, be, that picnic can call the mother at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, in an ungodly hour, and Mother will always run to her rescue. This is the unconditional love of Mother. Prarabdha karma means whatever I'm going through, it is because of a previous life's action that I did. You can be the best devotee, the best person, and still suffer in this life. And you ask the question, why? Why am I suffering? Why is the world so evil to me? My dear brothers and sisters, we need not know what we did in the last life, because I don't think we can handle it sometimes. And that is why we can't see our last life. Because imagine if you had to deal with that one, on top this one, I will really go mad in this life. So that is prarabdha karma. Whatever Mother gives us, we have to handle, because we have to trust. In God we trust. We like to spend the dollar bill, but we don't like to read the dollar bill. The dollar bill is a scripture. We wish we had money, we could tell you. In God we trust, my dear brothers and sisters, means I trust in the Universal Mother. She has given me what I need to grow. And on top of that, because of what I've done, I am reaping the rewards, or I'm suffering for it. Now there's another type. Prarabdha was the first type. Whatever's happening to me now, I must bear it. It is Mother's grace. Second type of karma, agami. Say the word agami.
Agami.
Agami means karmas to come. That same person who says, Acharyaji, I'm suffering. Why should I come and do good for the temple? Why should I come and vacuum the temple if I'm suffering outside and nobody likes me? Why? It is because if you do good work now, even if you're suffering, you will definitely reap some good because of that good punya, that good action that you did in the present moment. Reaping in the future something good, not necessarily now. You may not live in this birth to see it, but in the next life you'll reap it. So prarabdha, agami, and then say sanchita karma. Sanchita means the total karmic bank account. I'd like to see a bank account grow, you know. You lagan pan TV bank quick time, and you watch a morning. Some people say, Acharyaji, me wake up first thing in the morning. Me like to see when that next zero come. Me can't wait for the next zero. 9,999. And waiting for the 1,000 more. But we're not looking at our bank account, which is the karmic bank account, the sanchita, the sum total collection. The reason why bad things happen to us is because you're a human being, that's why. When you were born, you came with a 50-50 bank account. Papa, sin and punya. Bad work you did and good work. That's why you came as a human form. It's a 50-50 equilibrium. And when we do good work in this world, my dear brothers and sisters, the punyas or the merits rise and the papas fall. So when the papa is lesser than the punya, guess what happens? We're born in heaven after death. We enjoy for thousands of years, and then Mother sends us back into this world to learn about her, to get closest to her. No matter what karmas we go to, the greatest karma that you have tonight is to be at Bhuvaneshwar Mandir, where you can sing the glories of your Lord. And in doing so, in being in satsang, satsang, you're gaining good agami karmas to come that will be beneficial to you. Mother Durga went through her fair share, my dear brothers and sisters, and what type of tapasya did she do before we go ahead into the katha? We'll see. But for now, let us join together in the Ramayana Sumiran as we thank Mother Saraswati for the ability to read, Bhagavan Shankara for this life, Lord Ganesha for all obstacles removed, and of course our Gurus for giving us the knowledge. Gananayak Karivar Badala Jai Sumirat Siddhi Hoi Rama Mahamoha No matter what trials and tribulations we're going through, my dear brothers and sisters, when you choose to go to a place where you can heal, when you choose to go to a place, no matter how much the tapasya be, no matter how much the challenges be in everyday life, when you choose to feel that grace and become well connected to something supernatural like Jagadambe Durga, fear runs from the mind, pain runs from the mind, anxiety or fear of loss runs away, and depression goes, my dear friends. My dear brothers and sisters, Mother Parvati had to do tremendous tapasya as the wonderful sages went to her father and they began to tell him about the tapasya she did in order to win Bhagavan Shankara. And what were some of the things that allowed her to win the wonderful Lord? What were some of the things that allowed her to say, Mohe Angalagalo Apni Banalo Ardangini Tripurari. I've made you mine for so many years, O Lord, but today you accept me. But how is this possible, my dear brothers and sisters? What tapasya did she do to win the Lord? Tulsidas. What did you do here? Nityanavacharana upaj anuraga. Nityanavacharana. Her devotion to the feet of the Lord, her devotion to her ultimate goal, her devotion to that inner self-love that we all have to experience before we can even share love with another person. My dear brothers and sisters, you only can give what you have. And if you don't have inner peace, if you don't have love within yourself, how can you share it with another? My dear brothers and sisters, as I always say, from age 1 to 25, what should you be doing? Loving yourself. That is the answer. So much so that if you fall in love with someone in the world, when that person leaves, it's not a question of if, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. whether voluntarily or involuntarily, whether by themselves or when Yamraj come and lasso them neck and carry them. One time, one day, someone will leave us. But how will you feel? That's the question. Are you going to beat your head and say, why did this person leave? Or are you going to be, say la vie, it's okay. As the Spanish people say, tranquilo, tranquilo, I am calm. That's how you have to be, my dear brothers and sisters. The other day I asked Daresh, how you feel today? Daresh said, I feel calm, Acharya. I said, why you feel calm? Because didn't you tell me, no matter who come, no matter who go, no matter what grade I get, no matter if I study so hard and I fail the exam, fail and fail and fail till you try again and you get that A. Whatever situation you be in, this world is full of comings and goings, and you have to be okay with it. Every day was a day to fall closer to the ultimate prize, Bhagavan Shankara, my dear brothers and sisters, who is the reality. We're not this body, we're not this mind, but we are something supernatural within. That if you begin to find that, no matter who comes, no matter who goes, you're going to be happy. And that is the goal of your life. If you're sad because someone left, we still have work to do as human beings, because we are the roof and crown of creation. The amoeba, the single cellular organism that when you're in biology class, you look at your microscope and you're looking at it swimming around in the petri dish, that amoeba cannot think. It doesn't have a brain the size of yours. The monkey, the ape, the fish, the crapo, the grasshopper, all them things have souls and bodies, but they don't have what you have. What you have is a +1. What you have is an intellect, a body to perceive the world of objects, a mind to feel emotions, and the intellect allows us to think higher thoughts. But the thing is, anti-Parvati Ma of what she expects us to do, we use the mind to feel like going into the world of objects and getting burnt without finding inner peace and happiness first. And that's where we're failing. That is why institutions like Bhuvaneshwar Mandir have been created. Guruji Sri Prakash Gosai Ji was a medical technologist. He could have been the world's greatest doctor, but he gave it all up to build Bhuvaneshwar Mandirs throughout the entire world, my dear brothers and sisters. Yes, you see? To build throughout the entire world, especially this one, my dear friends, so that we can grow spiritually and experience self-love. I asked Daresh the other day again, I pick on him today. I said to him, what if there was no Bhuvaneshwar Mandir? What if there was no Vedanta? What if there was no science of self-love and discovering yourself in the midst of a turbulent world? Where would you be? Where would you go? He said, Acharya Ji, that's a good question. Me would have been knockabout some way. Me would have been lying on liberty like the rest of them, Acharya Ji. I said, who? He said, don't worry about it. My dear brothers and sisters, this place was created for us to discover more, for us to learn how to fall in love with ourselves, rise in love with ourselves. So when the world treats us bad through the 3 karmas, prarabdha karma, what's happening now, agami, what's to come, and sanchitta karma, the great bank account of karmas from life after life that we have to deal with, you'll be able to rise above all of it. Why? Because you've risen yourself to the next level. My dear brothers and sisters, her devotion to Lord Shiva grew every day. She got absorbed in penance. She took heed not of her body, but to the Shiva that was within herself. For thousands of years, she lived on roots, fruits, all alone. And then for another 100 years, she ate only vegetables. What else? Kachodena bojanu bhari batasa. And for some days, her only sustenance was only water and air. Sometimes I ask Rakesh, what did you eat all day today? He said, nothing. I said, you're like Parvati Ma. You live on air. Yes. For some days, her only sustenance was only water and air, and for a few days, she observed yet more stricter fasts of the mind. It's not about how much you fast in your stomach, it's how much you fast here. If you're fasting from kama, krodha, lobha, moha, matsarya, selfishness, anger, greed, attachment, false pride, and jealousy, Mother Durga is going to be happy with you. For 3,000 years she fasted, maintained herself only on dried leaves and bale patra that fell on the ground. She consumed that for 3,000 years. Can you imagine her body at that point? Then she gave up eating even that, and she ate only dried leaves. So she came to acquire the name Aparna. You know, some people are named Aparna. Aparna means the person who gave up even leaves. And my dear brothers and sisters, the deep voices resounded from the heavens, and they said, abandon all this tapasya you're doing. You've done well, O Parvati. The one that your mind is set on should be yours. So this is the type of penance, my dear brothers and sisters, that Mother Parvati did in her life. Let's ask ourselves the question, the little test that Mother Durga gives us, are we surviving them? Are we getting upset when a little mishap happens in our life? Or are we looking at that murti, running to the Lord and saying, oh Lord, it is your prasad that you've given me. And sometimes prasad doesn't taste good. Daresa Auntie Sally, prasad is the best prasad. And then sometimes people outside, I just go Jandy house there. The man say, man, Acharya, this prasad na mekam ba? So sometimes the prasad tastes good, sometimes it's not good. And when Mother Durga gives you bitter prasadam, you eat it. Why? It is good for you, my dear brothers and sisters, and it will make you grow in the process. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, we come to the point where Himachal, after hearing all of this, the father of Parvati, was listening to all of what we said just now about all of her penance. And he was very questionable about Lord Shiva. He was like a guy who wears snakes on his neck. He has fish earrings. He has, a crown, matted locks, and no clothes. And he has a tiger skin. You sure you are married? He, my daughter? Fathers are very easy. You just have to convince them. So he was convinced by that severe penance. He said to himself, like this girl, like this man, bad, all right. What did he do after hearing this? So strong, how she wanted only Shiva since she was 8 years old. All she spoke about was Shiva. All she dreamt about was Shiva. All her waking life was only Shiva. She saw Shiva everywhere, my dear brothers and sisters. She was the ultimate devotee of Bhagavan Shankara. She was the ultimate person who experienced that self-love, not outside, but within her own self. So much so that no matter who comes, no matter who goes, she was good. My dear brothers and sisters, Hirde Bichari Sambhu Prabhutai Sadara Muni Baralei Bulai. When the father heard this and he became kind of okay in the mind, recalling to his own mind the glory of Shiva, Himanchal reverently summoned the wise sages, and at once an auspicious day was chosen. An auspicious hour was chosen by Himanchal and his Pandit. Exact date for the wedding was fixed. Why? Because Lord Shiva agreed. Why did he agree? Why did he come out of that meditation? Kamadev, the god of love, shot those 5 arrows into his chest. He awoke him. He broke out of that meditation, that samadhi, and he burnt him to ashes. So much so that he exists in an invisible form. He exists in every creature in the world. When they go into the world and they fall victim to the world of objects and they fall in love with the wrong people, the wrong things by their friends for no purpose whatsoever, the victim of Cupid has been accomplished. But Bhagavan Shankar, understanding that this story, this wonderful prasanga of him agreeing to marry Mother Parvati after all of her tapasya, it had to been done for a divine purpose. Ask yourself the question, whenever you get involved in anything, what is the purpose? What is the utility value? Acharya Leelaji always says, what is the utility value of you getting involved with the world? Is it just haphazardness? Is it just recklessness? Is it just hurting others and hurting yourself without thinking? If you're doing that, you're a victim of Cupid. But if you think about what you get involved in, if there's a purpose, if there's a higher extent to your desire, even selfish desire could be something higher as well, if it's for the right thing. My dear brothers and sisters, that is when the Lord, Mother Parvati, will use you as an instrument in this world as well. So Lord Shiva Mahadev agreed. All of the gods and goddesses were happy. And what did they do, my dear brothers and sisters? Based on this information, my dear brothers and sisters, that Himachal got from the family priests, what happened? Himachal made an invitation. The father of Parvati made an invitation for the wedding. Himachal gave the note recording the exact time. The word note is given, but it was an invitation. The exact time the wedding of the wonderful Parvati and Shiva would take place. Now the 7 rishis, he gave it to them. He said, here, you take this and you distribute it to whoever you want to. Clasping their feet, besought them to be gracious. they called on Brahma. Saptarishi called Brahma. Bring, 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 bring. Called Brahma and say, hi, guess what? I get one invitation here. Delivered the invitation to Brahma and he read it out loud with loving joy. Lagan bachi aj sabahi sunai. Brahma read the note out loud to all, and the sages and assembled gods were delighted to hear the news. Whatever happened there? Sumana brishti nava bhajan bhaje. And when he announced the news that Parvati was finally wedding the wonderful Bhagavan Shankara, my dear brothers and sisters, the instruments played, the divine musicians, the kinnaras. Kinnar means divine musician from the heavens. They played all sorts of music, all sorts of instruments. Flowers flowed down from the heavenly regions, my dear brothers and sisters, in this way. Lage samvaran sakala sura. All the gods began to ready their vehicles. It was time to start the Bharyat. All the gods and goddesses assembled their vehicles of different kinds. Fair and auspicious omens were seen, in celestial damsels, my dear brothers and sisters, sang for this occasion. Now poor Lord Shiva knew nothing about this. He only liked meditation, as we saw yesterday. The man was the ultimate bachelor. He liked for daily little cool banyan tree by himself in meditation and jumping Kare, the wonderful Lord. But my dear brothers and sisters, even Lord Shiva teaches us one lesson, that in the world sometimes, based on the Lord's want, not ours, we have to transact if it's for the good of the world. Now in this way, Bhagavan Shankara, his attendants, the people who loved him the most, they surrounded him. And what did they do to him, my dear brothers and sisters? Josidashi. Mora Sambara. Now Lord Shiva sits quietly. He's looking at this spectacle. He's enjoying the spectacle. Remember, Lord Shiva is already one with that wonderful Lord Rama within. Self-love he's already accomplished. So to understand the mind of these gods and goddesses, we can never do. But he gladly enters the play of all of this so that we can learn, and also, my dear brothers and sisters, a higher purpose can be accomplished. What happened? Shiva's friends, his attendants, began to dress the Lord for his wedding. His matted locks were formed into a beautiful crest and decked with a marriage crown of snakes. He had serpents for his earrings and bracelets. Smeared with ash, his personality, his whole body was smeared, by their brothers and sisters, with this ash that he loves the most. Wrapped in a lion's skin around his waist, he proceeded to be decorated some more. What else? Sasila Lata Sundara Sira Ganga. He bore the moon on his noble forehead, Shashilata, the beautiful crescent moon symbolizing intelligence, was born on his forehead. Not any crescent moon, but the most beautiful moon that they can find in the cosmos. It decorated his beautiful forehead. Ganga flowed out of his crown. He had the most beautiful, not 2 eyes, but 3 eyes, by their brothers and sisters, and a snake for his janeo also. He likes snake bad, like snake earring, snake necklace, snake bangle, all kind of things snake. But here, brothers and sisters, whatever floats your boat, but he's the Lord. So in this way, he had this sacred thread. Even the janeo was a snake. He had poison in his throat. Nilakanta, the blue-throated Lord, he still had that mark from that time. A sacred necklace of skulls. He liked skulls too. Sacred necklace of skulls were placed on his chest. And what else? In such an unblessed guise, he was arrayed in this way. Even though he looked like this, the whole world echoed his glories. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, the question is asked here. Students of Ramayana will always ask this question. Why is someone so divine dressed like this? My dear brothers and sisters, he is teaching us a lesson here. It doesn't matter what you look like externally. Sometimes we dress up in the age of makeup, for example, mock makeup. You can put a different face on somebody. As a matter of fact, my dear brothers and sisters, I'm not gonna tell you a who. I'm not gonna tell you a who. But one day, I'm gonna tell you the story, true thing. I'm gonna pick up somebody from the airport. I'm gonna bring the body to the place where I'll be gonna stay. Anyway, come with one face that was nicely made up, mock makeup, mock. Come to the house now, and all of us sat for dinner. We talked to each other. All of us, about 10 of us, were staying at the house. Anyway, all of us retired to bed. The next day, I wake up, and me and one man named Chachadel, I will sit down on the table now. And here comes the person who walked down, who was nicely made up the night before. And Chachadel drives she home and gaff with she in the front seat. And what do you think he said? Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I don't think we have met. The lady said, Chachadel, me, you bring me to the airport yesterday. My dear brothers and sisters, the makeup gone and the truth was revealed. My dear brothers and sisters, if we do that, you think Mother Durga will recognize you? I'm not saying not to wear makeup. That's not what I'm saying. You know, some people artistically put on the makeup and it enhances their beauty. That is perfectly okay. Me can't wear makeup actually. Me not even get time for wear makeup. Even if man can wear makeup, I don't think I can ever would. But my dear brothers and sisters, this wonderful Devi is teaching us a lesson right here in the story of Shiva. It doesn't matter how much you put outside of you externally. It doesn't matter what you look like. Come to the Lord as you are. That inner beauty, when you have self-love, that inner shine will dominate anything. You know, these popular artists, for example, some of them wear the most atrocious thing. and it becomes the style the next day. When they wear it, as soon as you walk down Fifth Avenue, you see 10 million people are dressed like them, and sometimes you wonder what on earth are they wearing? But it's not about what you wear in the external. Sure, we have to dress appropriately. But Bhagavan Shankar is saying, even if you can't afford clothes, even if you can't afford a nice necklace, he's wearing a necklace of skulls. Even if you can't afford a nice bangle, now you go and get one nice, nice golden bangle, and you think, oh, we have everything. But Bhagavan Shankar is saying, it's not about what you wear here, it's about what you have here. This is the thing the Lord is looking for. He's not looking for sherwani when you do puja. He's not looking for gold cow. He's not looking for gold and diamonds to be laden. And sometimes we decorate the whole altar with fruits, and people in Africa and Guyana are starving. But dear brothers and sisters, kya fayda hai? Who are we fooling? Bhagavan Shankar is teaching us, come as you are. And if you can't afford anything, or you can afford a little bit, bring it and offer it to me with unconditional love. If Mother Shabari can bite the fruits, if she can bite those jute bear and offer it to Sri Ram, and the Lord relished it and said, I haven't tasted fruits this nice since I left my mother's home in Ayodhya. Since I've been exiled, I've never tasted fruit so beautiful. This is why Bhagavan Shankar is dressed like this, because he's teaching us all a lesson that you shouldn't only shine from outside, but you should live your life in such a way with enough peace of mind, with enough beauty of the mind, with enough goodness in your thoughts, living up to what the Bhagavad Gita says. What does it say? That you should be equal in good times and bad times, and never let anyone take away the beautiful smile that God has given you. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, we continue this katha. You want to know what happened after that? So they dress up the Lord, nice, oh God, nice skull necklace, nice snake bracelet. I wonder where you get them things that from, Tiffany and Company? Go to Tiffany and Co on Fifth Avenue and see if you want a snake bracelet. But dear brothers and sisters, he was dressed so beautifully, and then he enters the Bariat. No, Bariat is nice, right? Loud music, a Blair song and things. Who was in this Bariat now? And what did they look like? Ayawano? Raise your hand if you want to continue the kata. Raise your hand. If you want no more, raise your hand. Let me see. If one man self put on your hand, then I'll read. Let me see. Raise your hand. Let me see. Who want to hear more? Come back tomorrow night. Come back tomorrow night and you will see the Bariat. And then what happened after that, we'll continue as the nights go on. So my dear brothers and sisters, we conclude tonight with this beautiful bhajan. A bhajan dedicated to the wonderful union of none other than Parvati and Bhagavan Shankara. Bole naat se nirala aur koi nahi. There's no God, my dear brothers and sisters, great like the wonderful Bhagavan Shankara. Aisa bigadi banane wala. Who is the one who's going to help us get better and fill our minds with the self-love that we're looking for? It is none other than Shiva. Contemplation and meditation on the fact that you're not this body, you're not this mind, but you are that Shiva, full of self-love, going through penance in life, suffering even, but finding that self-love and sharing that love with all. That will be the realization that you need in this Navratri. ऐसा बिगड़ी बनाने वाला, ऐसा बिगड़ी बनाने वाला कोई और नहीं। भोलेनाथ से निराला, भोलेनाथ से निराला कोई और तुमने जग का कष्ट मिटाया,
मुझको स्वामी क्यों बिसराया
तुमने जग का बाबा मुझको गाने वाला, बाबा मुझे बचाने वाला, कोई और नहीं। बोले श्री जगदम्बे दुर्गा माता की, शिवलाले माता की। ओम हर नमः पार्वती पते महादेव। So my dear brothers and sisters, this is Navaratri where the energy is very high. But the energy, high energy means what? Going from the base to the highest. Going from exclusive enjoyment in the world of objects that are only temporary in nature and enjoying something from within called self-love. And once you get a taste of that, nothing in the world can compare to that in this life. This is the goal of the human life, to use the God-given brain to get to that state of consciousness and awareness. So I'd like to thank all of you on behalf of all of us for coming out tonight, my dear friends. There is a wonderful special guest, Preeti. She happens to be my cousin. And she had won the Miss Diwali pageant, right? Queen. And that is why she's wearing the crown that was bestowed upon her, given to her. So I'd like to call her up here to say a few words on women empowerment. This month was about women empowerment also. And I'm very happy that Preeti's here. She has my sister's name as well. And also, here's the thing. She comes here every Saturday to serve the kids of the Bhubaneswar Mandir, teaching them bhajans. So we'd like to thank you, Preeti, for your service every Saturday, alongside everybody else who serves as well. So let's